Oh man, can you hear me? Hold on, I can't hear you. I can see you good, but I can't hear you yet. No, not yet. I can't hear you. There you go.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
All right, I can hear you better. Hey, Chris, can you shut the garage door? Well, I don't know if it's shut. Man, I got a good conversation tonight, man. Something I've been thinking about a long time. And you know how they say the devil. They just say it's the devil. It's good energy and there's negative energy. And the negative is needed for the positive to make power. So this is going to be a very powerful tonight because it's got a lot of negative energy mixed with that positivity that you had. So this is going to be powerful.
Yeah, we
Uh,
already live.
yeah, we live now.
Okay.
So basically, man, I'm assuming, yeah, it says we're live. Yeah,
Okay.
so man, I want to talk about contagion theory, man. But before we get started, how was your week, man? I'm gonna get you to ask Siri what contagion theory is for us while we're on the live.
Yeah, I ain't got Alexa with me, man. Yeah, I ain't got Alexa with me.
Well, look that boy up. You can get if I don't know if your kids or your old lady, my wife ain't in here, to look that boy up. I want to read a definition for I can do it on my computer.
Yeah.
But how your week been so far, man?
Man, everything been good, man. Like you say, Thanksgiving was last week, man. Had that family love. Got some memory bank deposits, and on to the next one. I feel good.
You already know it. I'm gonna read the definition for contagion theory, and I want to get right into it, man. Contagion theory, the idea that behaviors, emotion, and ideas can spread rapidly through a population, much like a disease. It suggests that crowds, individuals can lose their sense of individuality and become susceptible to collective emotions and actions of a group, a concept that has been applied to various phenomena, such social moods, trends, and physical symptoms. Now, let's break that down. Let me give you an example. Contagion theory. Ideas, behaviors, and emotions can take over a group in a minute, right? Let me give you an example of that, all right? Give you three quick examples because I want people to really get it. When you in church, right? You remember we used to be in church and a kid or an old person got up to sing and couldn't sing at all. And everybody needed to know their asses need to be booed off the stage like Apollo. And they would say, bless her heart. Bless his heart. Come on, child, sing. Start all over. And they would give her 2-3 tries, right? In church.
Yeah.
Well, this is a performance. Another example. Somebody could just finish the performance. You've seen it in many movies. And one person said, and everybody fucking stand up and start clapping.
Yeah.
That one person starts that clap. You've seen that in plenty of movies, right?
Yeah.
Or you can be in church and the pastor ain't getting what he need from the crowd and he say, y'all ain't trying to preach with me. Y'all don't hear me. Somebody give me an amen. And somebody say, amen. Then the amens and oh yeah, and all that get to going.
Yeah.
That's contagion theory. I did a paper on this in college. And before I did my presentation in class, I basically came up with an example to show how contagion theory would work. And this is what I did. I passed out a little index card and I gave out pens. And I said, this bottle of water right here would cost 10 cents extra if everyone recycled. Would you pay 10 cents extra for a bottle that you knew was recycled? You're saving the environment. You can go to the store and get a bottle of non-recycled water for 90 cents, but you can get a bottle of recycled water for $1. Would you pay 10 extra cents for a bottle that you knew that was recycled, that was saving the environment? Everybody wrote their answer down on their card, covered it up, put it in the basket. I pulled it out, 30 students in the class. We had, let me go back. Everybody put it down, wrote it down, put it in the basket. 30 students in the class. This was the blind study. Then I said, okay, now that everybody then wrote their answers down, of the 30 of you in this class, raise your hand if you would pay 10 extra cents for a bottle of water that you know was recycled. Everybody in the class raised their hand. I said, so we got 30 out of 30 people that would pay 10 extra cents for a bottle of water that they knew was recycled. And then I went to the basket. 28 people said no. When it was a blind study, 28 people said, hell no, I wouldn't pay no motherfucking extra 10 cents just for a recycled bottle. But when I asked them to raise their hand, everybody in the class said yes. That's what contagion theory is. It's the looking around, feeling like I don't want to be singled out. I don't want to be the one that's not going. It's the I don't want to be the one to clap, not clap. Can you think of some examples of contagion theory before we get into the message?
Yes, and just breaking it down, contagion. I think the most common way we know it is contagious. Contagion is contagious, meaning that you can pass on a disease or illness by way of touching one another. So just the theory of emotions and feelings being contagious, meaning I can walk in a room and set it off and make that be contagious in the room. It's many ways you can flip it. You can use other words. It could be spiritual warfare. It could be influential. It could be having the power to cause effect of someone else just by contact. So I think that's real, especially when you're in a room full of followers and no real leadership. They crave leadership. So the one who shows leadership attributes will be the one who will be contagious. Everybody will need to conform to some type of leader. So yeah, we see it every day.
Yeah. Some things I want to talk about with contagion theory that I've been thinking about, and I know you ain't had no idea about this subject, so this gonna kind of hit you. I want to talk about contagion theory in the Central Park Five.
Come on.
There was a time that black people didn't even know about the Central Park Five. When Donald Trump got ready to run for office, because of the statement that he made, which wasn't racist, he said anybody that commits such a heinous murder should get the death penalty. He didn't know who had did it. He didn't know that those 5 kids would confess. My thing is this. When this new movie came out, it came out when Trump was about to run for election. Netflix and the powers that be know what they were doing. Because they didn't have to bring him up in that movie. They wanted to besmirch his character. My thing is contagion theory. All black people just sided for these kids and just decided that everything is racism. And I think about our accountability. I want to take this example, for example, and ask you a question. You know you're raising your son and daughter. If your son called you and said, Dad, I'm downtown, some shit didn't happen. They're trying to get me to confess. I didn't do it. Do you tell your son to confess, or do you put your house up and fight for the rest of your life because you know your boy?
Yeah, I tell my son, don't say nothing. Wait till I get there. Wait till he got some real sincere counsel. If his life is on the line, ain't nobody finna make a decision for my child or be a part of this a decision for my child that could affect, change, or alter his life forever until I'm in his presence. So ain't no confessing to nothing till I say, give me a moment with my child and really understand what position my child in.
So it's a situation where you got 5 different sets of parents that tell their children to confess to this murder. And that's the thing that black people would think first in a blind study. Yeah. When ain't nobody looking, the first thing, man, how the fuck all 5 parents telling them, you know what I'm saying? But in public, we're not going to say that.
Yeah.
I don't fall victim to contagion theory. I say what I think publicly. Yeah. I think them folks knew they kids. I think it was a situation where they looked at them boys and said, y'all can either confess and do 20 years or get the death penalty. Now, listen, I told y'all ass not to be out in the middle of the night because they was out. I told y'all ass you gonna get in some shit being out here. Now you done got yourself in some shit you can't get out of. I think those parents knew exactly what type of children they had. And that's why they told them to confess. When you know your children and you don't believe your children has done something, you willing to go down the goddamn walls. My thing is, I said that to say, when I said that on my page, you know how many people start saying, you right, yeah, you right, you right, you right. That's something that nobody typically says. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When I think of contagion theory, it makes me think about something I created today called Tati. Trump, abortion, transgender, and immigration.
Come on.
Contagion theory, we see that being carried out today in the Democratic Party. Now, I'm not trying to get you to be Democratic or Republican or change nobody's mind. I'm just making a point. Those 4 topics have become so important to the Democratic base that no matter what happens, if you say those 4 topics, people clap, people be excited. I want to understand from you, because you got a lot of insight. Why do you think it's so important for people to follow the crowd publicly?
Well, the truth is never popular. I did a topic about Barabbas in the Bible, and I don't want to make this religious,
But go ahead.
But it's about the contagion theory in a sense. In the story of Jesus, when he was on death row or getting crucified, before the hanging, they had a ceremony where they would bring all the criminals out before the people, and before the feast, they would give the crowd the opportunity to free one person on death row. And you had Jesus and you had Barabbas. And Barabbas was a known criminal, a known murderer, pretty much a villain amongst the people. Jesus was Jesus. You know who Jesus was in the story. So they went to the people and they said, the people, you have one choice. You could either free Barabbas or you could free Jesus. And the people screamed, give us Barabbas. So now here we are in an idealistic way where we put our whole divinity and faith in a character that in his time, the people went against the truth. So the truth ain't never popular. The herd mentality. You always got to worry about the sheep. We say, man, we sheep. Well, the sheep has a herderer. The herderer controls the sheep. Wherever you see the sheep going, there's no thought. There's only order. There's only programming. There's everything. So just always been raised up by some strong men with leadership qualities. You always question the herd. Say, ho, let me think. But see, that's what we don't do. So in every situation, and we have become so accustomed to just having a herd mentality or the contagion theory to always go with the crowd. Now we don't know when or what may be beneficial for us, but nobody just takes a time out to really just think for a second. So I think it's more common than we ever know, and it's built into our divinity that we don't even understand it.
Man, you said such an amazing thing, because when you said that, I went back to reading those scriptures, and my mind see pictures when I read and when I hear stories. I want to ask you something. Why do you think, as you heard that story, as you told that story, I could see them bringing out Jesus and Barabbas and them saying, who do you want to release? And somebody had to yell, Barabbas, right? Or somebody had to yell, Jesus. Now, Barabbas was a known bad motherfucker, murderer, dirty motherfucker. Why would they yell his name? Or did somebody yell out, he's a heretic? Did somebody yell out, he's a liar, saying Jesus lying, say he the son of God? Because you know the Jews are the ones that chose to release Barabbas and kill Jesus.
Come on.
So do you think they were so hell-bent on releasing Barabbas because I just feel like there's no way they would say release this murder. Somebody had to convince them and say, This man, Jesus, says he's the Son of God, and he's saying he's performing miracles, and he's a liar. Give us Barabbas. What do you think? Why don't you think those people, if this story was true, why don't you think somebody said, hell no, I seen this motherfucker turn water into wine. I seen this motherfucker raise it. Hell no. Why don't you think a riot? What do you think happened? You got me on a different path now. I'm on the same path, but I want to see what you think about that. How does this go down that this motherfucker's supposed to say he did all this shit and doing all this shit if he was? Or do you think somebody stood up and said, he a motherfucking lie. Y'all know he ain't no son of God. He's speaking against our religion. Fuck him. Give us the murderer. How do you think that happened?
Well, let me ask you a question before I go forward. What was the acronym you came up with? And say what it mean? Yeah, what does that mean?
Trump, abortion, transgender, immigration. That's what Democrats answer for everything is. What time is it? They ask any Democrat a question they can't answer. What time is it? Well, you know, time is an important question, but the time we need to discuss is Trump and what he doing. The time is for women's rights and abortion. The time is for transgenders to have gender affirming surgery. The time is for immigration. That's what they do for everything. And we see that that's their fucking answer for everything. So but the contagion theory of hating Trump accepts that shit, regardless if we see the exact same thing.
Here go my point. The truth, no matter who brings it, the truth always comes with discipline if you accept it. The truth comes with accountability. So in the story, or anybody, let's just take the Christ spirit. Anybody who's bringing the sincere truth, not the popular truth, but the truth rooted in love, in discipline, in honor. See, that requires respect. That requires dignity. That requires integrity. So when people can't face that or don't want to face that, they use a scapegoat. And in our time now that religion is a backwash. Nobody's really religious no more. Politics has the ball in everybody's mind. Politics is kicking everybody's thoughts, emotions, and everything. So the scapegoat to escape discipline, responsibility, accountability is Trump.
Wow. He's the new Trump. Jesus. They're doing him like Jesus.
It used to be Jesus, but don't nobody play the game no more. It's politics now. They have the ball. So when you talk about transgender, you're talking about a destructive path away from nature. If you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there, but only a divine path will bring you here to be a man in posture, in nature, in order, responsibility, a family, to be a mother, a nurturer, to understand her position. Anytime you go into abortion, you go into any type of sexual orientation, you go against anything that's not somewhat conventional or what's the word? Conservative, meaning conservative, the tradition, the value, the principles. I ain't talking about white people. I'm talking about my grandmama and my granddaddy, what we saw and what a man and a woman and a father and a mother is. When you pry away from that and you don't want to be accountable, or you can't accept the things that took you off path, you'll use a scapegoat. And now there's nothing more powerful than the word Trump. Nothing more powerful. Once I say that, see, even in this word game, contagious, connotation. Connotation means the words and feelings and ideas that are provoked. See, when I say Trump, people don't even care what I say about it. Trump, a whole feeling come over them, whether it's contagious fear, whether it's contagious, whatever. Trump, all you got to do is say Trump. It's more powerful than the name Jesus right now. I promise you this. This may sound crazy and you don't want to accept it.
It's not. It ain't crazy. Keep cooking.
I promise you, man. And you can say something powerful behind it. Like you made a post the other day. If Trump say, drink 4 glasses of water, who is he to tell me I can't be dehydrated? all regards of what come after. But see, it work on the other side. Just like when we use these words. So that's why we talk about spells. This is real shit. Contagious. The contagion theory. Meaning I can walk in a room, and if I'm really aware of the room, I'm conscious of the words I use. Not only in a negative way, also in a positive way. If I walk in a room and say, I love you, man, some people submit to that feeling and render to it to have a contagious aspect in my perspective to say, he mean good. I come in the room and say, what y'all motherfuckers in here talking about? See, that can become contagious in a connotational way. So we got to understand how it worked and how this thing is being worked on us. But if you don't understand how it works,
you know, and they understand it because that's what they're doing. It's like, and it's ironic that his name is Trump. The word Trump means to trump everything. When we play in spades, we call that the trump. That's the number one card, and it beats everything. Ain't that some shit? Ain't that some shit that this man last name is Trump, and the word Trump, it's like you could say something, like you said, I said the other day, if Trump saved the baby out the ocean, people will say that motherfucker starving the sharks. You know what I'm saying? It's like you said, you can come in the room and say, I love you. And that contagious feeling of love will go out. And then the other half of the room or a certain percentage of the room will say, who the fuck is this crazy motherfucker? I ain't going near him talking about he loves somebody. What he got going on? You know what I'm saying? It's like they understand how the mind works. They understand once somebody start clapping for a kid that's slow, that can't sing. This kid can't sing. Yeah, he got Down syndrome. Yeah, he's slow. But according to what I learned and raising my daughter, I don't want her to get clapped for just because she got Down syndrome if she ain't good. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's like if it's a certain situation where we feel like we need to clap, and then everybody clap. It's like in the black race, we know that white people have done a lot to us. So when white people know us enough to say, black people, y'all know how it feels to be hunted out in the streets. That's what ICE doing to Spanish. And we be like, oh, because of contagion theory, we got to agree. Nobody said, fuck them. Ain't nobody help us when they was chasing us down. Fuck the Africans. We ain't got to let them in. Ain't nobody let us in. Where can we go? Where can we go? We got to have a passport to even get on a fucking plane. Where can we go? But white folks say it. So we said, now, if I walk outside and say, ICE, do your job. ICE, ICE, baby. People going to look up and say, what's wrong with him? He not going with the crowd.
Come on.
We'll crucify him.
Come on.
We get crucified daily. As a parent, your children will crucify you in ways if you don't allow them to move the way the world and the other kids are moving. Dad, I want to go to the dance. No, you can't go to the dance. You can't go to the dance. I know I done walked off so many times and said out loud in my mind, I hope you die. I didn't wish my mama die because she didn't let me go to a fucking football game, man. Because everybody in the world going, I think everybody in the world going, and if I'm not there, I'm going to miss out on something, and my friends going to be able to say I'm there, not there. And all I'm thinking about is what they going to think and what they going to say. And I'm imagining things that they're going to say. And they may, and tomorrow when I get to school and didn't go, they may say, man, the game won't even good. You ain't missed nothing. Or they might have said, man, we knew your mama wasn't going to let you go. But in my mind, I'm hearing them say, motherfucker, you missed the best game in the world. You ain't shit. You can't. You see what I'm saying? We be thinking for the crowd, Trav.
Man, it's critical thinking. And let me say this and let me establish this. You got religion on one side. You got politics on the other side. You got your ball and your brain in the middle, your mind. They kicking it back and forth. They kicking it back and forth. And whoever got the ball gives a reflection of one or the other. See, right now we're in a contagious aspect, so much of fear in the political ball that it really exposes people's faith. It really exposes people's faith. Now, I ain't saying I'm an advocate to say which is which, but it's understanding versus faith. If your faith is strong, and there's scripture that will say, whoever is the president in a political way, God's will be done. And I'm going to make it through ever. Think of how long you've been living. There's been a president or every 4 to every 8 years all your life. If you can look back to your birthday, the very first day, and you really understand in this moment how much has that been the precedent of your narrative and your reality and who you really are. And if you really look at that, then what the fuck is you worried about?
Man, cook.
You're scared about. What the fuck? Now, I'm not saying this to say I'm pro or I'm this. I was on the phone today with a guy who says he was in war. He was in Desert Storm. He broke down the American aspect of war. And I say this has been the beginning of time. This is the American power. And it started way before 8 years ago. And it will be going on 8 years from now. So when will you understand the game and not the players? The game don't change. The players do. Who done pumped up your heart to not see the game more than you believe in the player? And that's whether you for or against the player.
You know, Trav, I said, black people, we like Donald Trump. Contagion Theory. Long as a rapper said Trump towers, Mike Tyson liked him. He was cool with Michael Jackson. So if a couple of guys like him, we get contagious, we like him, right? Now, black people love Trump but hated politics. Now we hate Trump and love politics. Like you said, if God chooses the leaders and if we could be the chosen people or whatever, why wouldn't God allow us to learn and get interested in politics by somebody that we had a former adoration for? Like, who better to get black people to watching the news every day and talking politics? Barack Obama didn't do it. He was black. Bill Clinton's supposed to be the first black president. He didn't make black people get on study politics. Trump is interesting and he's funny and he's fun. And now black people discussing politics every day. I don't see no more conversations on who better, Jordan or LeBron, Beyonce or Michael Jackson. All I see up and down my timeline is political conversations. That's a good thing for black people.
And
there's a scripture in the Bible.
A year and a half ago, they were dead. They were dead until the election started. So
they was talking the whole time. Trump was in office the first time, and then they got quiet for 4 years. And when Trump got ready to come back in, and I had been saying, y'all, it's gonna be real boring with Trump out of office. Nobody talk politics.
Nobody.
Now we back on it. Why wouldn't we understand? There's a scripture in the Bible, King Darius, when the children of Israel were in captive to, I think they were not the Babylonians. I think they were the Assyrians. I think I would have to look that up. The Syrians, the children of Israel were captive to them, and they had been getting their ass crushed for years, man. And the temple had been destroyed, and they wanted to rebuild the temple. And in the scriptures, God had told them that they would be blessed to rebuild the scripture. And, you know, for a couple of 100 years or so, they was just fucked up. And then King Darius had a dream where the angel of the Lord came to him and was like, look, these are God's chosen people. You fucking with them, you've been going to be fucked up, and showed them what was going to happen. He got up the next morning, said all the children of Israel free, gave them gold, silver, money, timber, everything, and gave them everything that they needed to rebuild a new temple that's actually still standing in Jerusalem now. That's a story in the Bible. He gave them everything. And he was the number one motherfucking enemy of them that had oppressed them. So I don't think we understand sometimes these stories in the Bible are allegories, but they're showing us that Donald Trump could be the very one that wake black people up and make us get some super PACs, make us start lobbying Congress, make us create our own political party. And he didn't do it purposefully. It's like God used contagion theory on us through the Democrats to wake us up. No different than COVID. Man, I got the number one post that I've ever posted of comments. I made one comment. I didn't say it was good or bad. I said only 19% of Americans took the COVID shot. And man, that post is going crazy of people, strangers coming on there explaining why they took it. Nobody's saying, yeah, man, that's why I ain't take the shit. Everybody is explaining or capping why they took it and saying, as if I'm saying something bad. I ain't say nothing either way. The COVID is a perfect example of contagion. Scared of the air. Like you said, if you got faith in God, I don't believe religion, white supremacy can stop me. But I got faith in God and faith. You mean to tell me we were scared of the air? The churches stopped meeting because of the air, Trav. I want you to comment on that. The COVID and the shot and how everybody stopped meeting because they thought the air was going to kill them, Trav.
Man, like I say, we talking real life shit. We ain't talking make believe. COVID was real. Any conspiracy theory you could think of, that was real life. We experienced something.
Yes, sir.
Not American. We talking about the whole world, Craig. The whole world shut down at one time. I'm talking about the world responded to this. So we can play in our own illusions of this being about the white man, this being about America. Man, the whole world was affected by this. So when you look at only 2-3 years later, nobody even acts like they remember that. Children missed 2 years of education, 2 whole years. People stayed at home and had to deal with the very same things that they've been running from and using, working, everything to dodge. I'm talking about everybody had to stand still and face what was real. And we act like we blimped that out of our mind. Blip. Nobody remembers that. Nobody remembers that. So here we are coming out of that. Religion is dead. That's what that was about. It showed you don't really believe and nobody believe. Let me show you where the power is. The power is now. Shut church down. Tell your preacher, shut the fuck up. We don't care what he got to say. This is real life. We control this. Boom, coming out. We know where our help comes from. We're looking at the government. This ain't by coincidence. This is real strategically. And ain't nobody above this. No, it's just deeper than the shot. This real life shit. And even if we didn't take the shot, I took the shot. I ain't no shame in it. I took the shot. I'm a father. Yeah, I got fear. Boy, sometimes fear real. Ain't nobody above the bullshit. I got scared. I saw some real shit. I got scared. And I ain't stepping off my square. As a father, I made the right decision to stand on it. And if I don't, I deal with what come with it. But ain't no shame. What you shame for? If you did, you did. What you shame for? That's the point that you're making. Who's shameful for the decision they made? But when you shame for the decisions you made, you look for scapegoats. You look for any goddamn thing to hang it on. But that's how it works. But going out of this, man, like I say, we're in a time now where you got to deal with some real shit or you can't. And I know who can't. Like you say, he can't talk to his children. He ain't got a relationship with who matters. He really fucked up. But all he want to talk about is motherfucking politics and fucking Trump. Fuck Trump. Can we say that and agree with that? And even going back to the first election. So you got to understand it was a process. Obama brought unity. We didn't care about politics. We just went and voted for Obama. That was our first sense of unity. That was a par. That was a polarity.
Contagion theory.
Yeah, they had to bring balance. After Obama, they brought Trump. I liked it, Trump, the first election, because it was still in our unity. Before Obama, I've been talking black power, black pride, black truth, trying to wake my people up to see I was negative. I was Jesus. I was Jesus in there arguing with the preachers, saying, tell my people the truth. Don't lock our soul up. Be real. They was wanting the rabbits every day when the truth singers was bringing this truth. So when Trump came, I love how it brings unity to us. Now it made people want to listen about white supremacy and how the system worked. It was a beautiful thing. I love what he brought because it was necessary. But the second time around, it divided us because they used the black woman to divide us. And it was about moralism. See, the first was about politics and bringing the leaders out and understanding who was the leader. It was almost like we got segregated again. And we were becoming power because we were segregated. But then when they brought Kamala Harris back, it integrated us back, but it integrated us into moralism and those that understood moralism and principles. We ain't talking about validating homosexuality. We ain't talking about validating reasons to kill children when we know expectations is the seed of disappointment. Don't you talk to me about no goddamn rape when we know most abortions happen when people got expectations and they have made bad choices and they don't want their family to feel disappointed. So they go make hard-written, life-changing decisions that will have effects for a lifetime. Fuck politics. Let's talk about morality. But that's where we separated. And now you think you're a fucking Democrat or a Republican more than you even know. You're a brother to your brother and a sister to your sister and a parent to your child. And we done got so contagious with being pestered by the bullshit so we don't have to deal with the real shit. That's what we done got contagious with. That's what's spreading. Everybody catching the bullshit vibe. To not want to deal with what's real. That's the theory in a nutshell, excuse me.
You know, man, you just summed it up, man. You know, we got started late, but I still got to get off at the same time. You just summed it up, man. And I give it to an old saying. You remember that song? It's just that simple. Blame it on the rain. Don't nobody want to deal with real life. So we blaming it on the rain. We blaming it on Kamala. We blaming it on Trump. We blaming it on the government. We blaming it on everything other than what's real. Blame it on the motherfucking rain. And now we got a new word that's stronger than Jesus. We got a new word to blame it on, and it's motherfucking Trump, and it trumps everything. No matter what a nigga say, I can say, Trav, we need to get fatherhood back in order. And if you don't agree with me and you a dirt beat daddy, you will say, but Trump in office. And the world will say, yeah, he right. It's going to be hard to be a father with Trump in office.
I know you get, but let me make this point about
Go ahead.
pages and how the truth ain't popular. You said something about Master P today. And I want y'all to understand in real life, man, you gotta pay attention to impact and not recognition. I keep telling y'all the truth ain't popular. Impact over recognition. And when you think about impact, like you say, Master P has been the most impactful entertainer to black people since, and I learned this since Eddie Murphy, Whitney Houston, Eddie Murphy, Whitney Houston, Prince and Michael Jackson. Master P was the most impactful black man since them. He was the first person to truly show real economics and take ownership in our entertainment. And if it wasn't for Master P, you would not have a Birdman. You would not have a Puff Daddy. You would not have a Jay-Z. Master P showed that through resilience and believing in yourself, he went and made the roster on an NBA team to show us that gangsterism ain't about being tough. Being a businessman ain't about wanting money. He showed us the core belief that you can do anything you want to do as a black man. Until this day, if I mention Master P against Jay-Z because Master P ain't popular as you want him to be, I will have a debate to the gods when Jay-Z ain't impacted a goddamn thing.
Man, Master P shows you that you can come from the streets. First of all, that's the impact. See, everybody don't think they can be a Whitney Houston or a Michael Jackson or a Prince. Master P came from the bottom, came from the streets. He was a rapper, an actor. He was producing. You remember About It? He produced his own movies. He got a clothing line. Master P got goddamn rap snacks, chips, honey buns. Master P got goddamn noodles. Come on, man. Master P is the motherfucking king of it all.
To even add to that, and I even show you more impact over recognition. After Master P, the most impactful to our culture in today's time and evolution is Soulja Boy. That 17-year-old child in his mama bedroom with no understanding had people come knock on his door and let his mama know your son is a multimillionaire living in your house. And he couldn't make his mama believe it until the white people came and told her and showed her that your son has created a portal in entertainment that ain't nobody ever done in this entire world. I'm talking about Soulja Boy is the very same reason me and you can put music on this internet and be as powerful as All Out Powerful in our own house, in our own studio. But we don't see that impact because it ain't popular and he ain't popular. But look at how we would disrespect and maim him if he come out to say who he is and what he is.
Now watch this, Trav. Trav, I got 2 points to make before we get out of here. Now notice Contagion Theory. It's almost popular to diss Soulja Boy, to say you don't like Soulja Boy. It's almost popular to diss Master P, to say, oh, Country Master P doing a little run dance. Think about this right here. Contagion Theory before we get out of here. When you come to America, you have to assimilate to American society and American culture. All races, all nationalities, all ethnicities. And when you come to America, part of the assimilation is you supposed to hate niggas. Come on. That's contagion.
That's contagion.
That I guarantee when them bitches come off of Ellis Island, they know in order to thrive in America, you need to act like you hate niggas.
Let me tell you some real.
And that's 100%. That's every race that comes to America know the story. You got to get away from them niggas and you got to act like you hate them niggas in order for anybody to take you serious. And that's why I don't give a fuck about now fucking immigrant.
Man, let me tell you some real life shit. And I know we got to go. This ain't no shit I read. This ain't no shit somebody told me. This is something I understood. And I understood this from a leadership. In 2006, 2007, I was a supervisor at a paper mill, and I got befriended by a whole lot of South Americans and Mexicans. And they had a system going where they would bring those in, and they had a whole social security system. They had every system to get them legitimate so they could work. But they let me behind the curtains, and they would come in on trucks, carpet trucks. And they would have people rolled up by two in the carpet. and they would have the flaps, so there's no way you could see them. But they knew they had a time limit that they could get past the border, so they had a whole system, and they watched them in. And I had been working on this job at this time for about 8 years with prestigious black men who had raised families, but they began to feel threatened because the influx of Mexican workers coming in, and these Mexican workers came in with the contagion theory that all you got to do is come to work and outwork these black men. They will bow down because they don't want to work, and this was what they thought. And I would be in the break room as a leader with men old enough to be my father who said, man, they gonna come take our jobs. They gonna come take our jobs. And I remember damn near turning over the tables and saying, well, goddamn, is you gonna let these little motherfuckers outwork you or not? And because they called me Gordo, they said Gordo, I know what it meant, but they knew I was a leader. And I used to let them know, y'all little itty bitty motherfuckers can't outwork us. So I watched it go through this process. And around 07, they came with a crackdown. I'm talking about when Obama was president. Man, they got rid of so much of them. I don't know if it was called ICE, but they came and they raided, and all of them left. And all the black men took a deep sigh of breath because the pressure of these motherfuckers wasn't on them no more. So this real life shit. And this is 17 years later. The game don't change. The players do. It's all a cycle. Every president do the same thing all the time, every time, on time. But you ain't paid attention to the last cycle because you're just not putting your mind in the game. But the game is an old game.
Hey, man, that would have goddamn...
All these years later, talking about, goddamn, man, we crazy than a motherfucker. Let me tell you something, man. We're talking about illegal. We're talking about coming through here wrapped up in goddamn carpet. My mama just went to Panama, and she's so happy at 62. I got another stamp on my passport. If they can't get a stamp on their passport, then what the hell are you empathizing with? What are you tying your emotions to? Just 2 years ago, everywhere across America was scared of Mexicans driving white vans because young black girl was being took by white vans. Now all you see is ICE chasing white vans, and we're trying to stop the police from searching the white vans. God damn.
Hey, man, that's it right there. That's it. We good, money, Trav.
God damn, man.
We good. Hey, look, we gonna wrap it up right there, boy. I got to. I hope the AI clip that, and I'm gonna steal that. I'm gonna make a video about that tomorrow. I'm gonna give you credit for it, but I got to steal that. I got to steal that, Jack. I'm just letting you know right now.
Come on, man.
I love you, man. Be good.
All right, I love you, man.